What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is August 27th of 2017. So as you all know, if you watch my channel, you probably understand by now that I love getting feedback in the comments below my videos and in my live streams about what coin or token I should cover next on my channel. And it has become obviously clear that the headlines are raging about one topic and one topic only: privacy. I think it's actually not only important today in cryptocurrency, as there's been growing concerns about the security of Bitcoin and its privacy issues, but along with that, the topic of privacy has been the cornerstone reason as to why cryptocurrencies took off in the first place. Bitcoin itself stood out in the world a few years ago comparative to traditional fiat currency because of its privacy aspects. However, it wasn't centrally focused on privacy, and it's becoming a lot easier to track transactions through Bitcoin. So a lot of people are looking for anonymous platforms and places where they can have their privacy respected in the sense of transactions. And PIVX is an exact example of what we're looking for in the sense of privacy. So what exactly is PIVX? You know, we've been looking at coins like Monero on this channel and how there's been all the rage about it. Is PIVX going to stand out? There's a lot we have to look into, whether or not it be the technology behind it, how the coin itself is generated, you know, the roadmap for the coin, does it have its technology there, and really talking about what protects in the sense of anonymity and security. So let's go ahead and do an analysis on PIVX. However, as always, we've got to look at the numbers. So first and foremost, I want to focus on the market cap here. We can see the market cap is very well developed. This is a coin that I feel fine, safe in trading in the sense of both market cap and volume. The market cap is sitting about 50 million under what would be considered a mid cap, which is 200 million in my mind. So keep an eye on this one if you want to see another kind of Monero jump. I think this is one of the candidates you could see it in, as well as Verge. But in this case, I think PIVX is really setting itself up because it has a relatively small supply. And we can see that the volume is there. Over the past 24 hours, over $3 million in volume traded, and it has been pushing it to new highs in the sense of USD valuation and market cap. The thing is, though, a lot of people might see there still be room to grow for PIVX, because if we look here at the Bitcoin comparative, it's actually relatively low. Now, of course, Bitcoin has been rallying for quite some time, but we just saw Monero break to new Bitcoin comparative highs in the sense of Satoshis, so we might be able to see it break towards its previous highs, and that would mean a lot of gains for PIVX. So going onto PIVX's website and jumping into the actual fundamental analysis, you can see that PIVX has a very nice website. I always tell you that's a good thing to have if you want to see adoption of your cryptocurrency. And I have to say, the one thing that I've heard strongly about PIVX, though I haven't personally engaged in it, is that they have a wonderful sense of community. And that is something you absolutely need if you really want your cryptocurrency to take off. And we can see on the map here, it's something that's being massively adopted in the West. I don't know if you can kind of see the picture back there, but the West has really kind of used PIVX as its main privacy coin. And I think that that's good because here in the United States, privacy is becoming a growing topic. But hopefully we can see PIVX expanded out into different regions of the world and really get adopted as well as a global international currency. So there's all kinds of information on here. They do a pretty decent job of marketing themselves out. I always tell y'all marketing is important in the sense of adoption, and there's a lot of videos you can watch that they do, and also they post articles as well on new updates and also how they're trying to get out there into the world and get adopted. The community around PIVX, though, is extremely helpful, so if you all have any questions about reaching out, you can definitely go ahead, and I think they have a, if you go to your community, if you go to the community page here, you can go on ahead and jump onto any of the platforms here. They have tons of backgrounds of information and also communities such as Slack and Reddit, where you can go out and you reach to people who are very heavily invested in this community, and they'll answer any questions you might have that I might not be able to cover in this video. So real quickly, I want to talk a little bit about the coin specs here. The big thing that they use in the sense of algorithm is Quark, the Quark algorithm, and this has been something that's used in the past. There's a Wikipedia page that talks about Quark a little bit more in depth. However, this coin is proof of stake. That's the next thing I want to talk about here, in the sense that most of it is generated through people who simply stake it out in their wallets. And I think that that's, you know, proof of stake is interesting. However, they take a different approach. It's not just simply proof of stake. It's actually what they call proof of stake 2.0. And this is in the sense of using masternodes. So if we go over here towards the purple paper instead of the white paper, that's pretty funny. Real quick, I would like to cover too, PIVX stands for Private Instant Verified Transaction. So that's why it's, you know, the acronym in the sense of PIVX. And I think it's pretty cool. I like the name. PIVX rolls off the tongue very easily, and I think that's cool how they broke it down. And it's focused on very quick, instant, verified transactions. So the privacy concept is there. We get it. It's completely, completely understandable why it's there. It's a relatively simple concept, though. So long as they can guarantee the security and the privacy of transactions and the anonymity in a lot of cases, then that's good. PIVX already meets its duties, and it seems like they have the functioning tech to deliver on that. But a lot of people have a question of whether or not, how is it created? And as I was saying, this is a different modified version of proof of stake in the sense of using masternodes. Now, if you don't know what a masternode is, if you don't know what proof of stake is, I'm going to explain both of them. Proof of stake is basically when you hold a cryptocurrency, you stake it, so it's in your wallet, and you generate new, in this case, you generate new PIVX. And the new circulating supply comes into the wallets of those who have, held their PIVX. So I think that it's, it's a good system. I think the one concern people have with proof of stake is that if if you're getting rewarded for just holding it, then why not just keep holding it, keep boosting up your position and stuff rather than using it as a means of exchange. However, the creation level of it is not that crazy, and some of it divides off to provide for the platform. Along with that, there's also the second aspect of it, which is with masternodes. If we scroll down here, the description of a masternode I could give you, and the most simple explanation is, for example, any kind of network, any kind of blockchain needs to operate. So in the sense of sending transactions and supporting people utilizing the certain cryptocurrency that you're using, there's technology behind it that needs to, function. It needs power. So if you run a masternode and you put up a certain amount of PIVX that you have purchased or have currently staked out of your wallet, you can run a masternode and help start running the network. Along with that, you get a stake of what comes out of the next reward block for a PIVX. So you get PIVX from doing that. It's a second way to generate it. And they have a very interesting thing, which I'm not going to go fully in depth, but it's a very unique selling proposition called the seesaw effect of how they manage masternodes and staking nodes and how they, balance out the creation and the distribution of how PIVX is given out. So very interesting selling point. A lot of people who are active in the community talk a lot about the seesaw effect, and they say that this is one of the big selling points for it. And I think it's an interesting take, because I think that having a mix of the masternodes and staking nodes is important, and just simply having, staking the cryptocurrency. I honestly just don't believe that's like a good way, just having proof of stake. So they're at least taking a unique approach to it, and it's a good selling proposition for PIVX. If we go over here to the roadmap, though, they have a nice roadmap. It's vertical. I usually don't like these kind of vertical ones, especially seeing as they start off with the most recent one. But if we scroll down here, you can see as we go along here, they have their GitHub here with the levels of encryption and decryption in the sense of how PIVX works. Just to let you all know also as well, if you're curious about the framework of it, to give you a very easy understanding, it's built off as a fork of Dash, so pretty popular cryptocurrency, and then also a little bit of the Bitcoin core as well. So it's a very interesting hybrid, and they've got functioning technology out there and ready to use. You can use the wallet that they built back in January. They have a lot of other milestones that they've reached as well. They've got, of course, a professional website. As I said, I love the website. And as you can go here, they have multi-sig as well, which I like, multi-sig address control. They've got a mobile wallet you can download and use. You can also start staking as well. They have an encrypted chat system. If there is a privacy coin out there that does not have some form of chatting built in, that should be a priority. you need a chatting system in any kind of privacy-based coin. But so as you can see, they upgraded this is also big as well. They upgraded to Bitcoin Core 0.12.1, which is a big step for PIVX as well. So lots of interesting stuff about PIVX. It's interesting, but at the same time, I would say that if you're really going to research this and try to see if it's a competitive coin with Monero and other ones, you really have to dig a little bit deeper on the technical side to see if it's standing out in the sense of encryption and if it's really going to stand out as the market winner on a fundamental technical stance. So there's a little bit more research that I would recommend you doing in PIVX before buying in, but I really want to emphasize right now that PIVX is, yet again, one of the large players in the privacy industry of cryptocurrencies, and it's a big topic. So let's go ahead and jump towards a technical analysis here. A lot of you have been asking me, look, we saw Monero run up like crazy this past week. Should I invest in PIVX? Is this a good coin to get into? And I will tell you this. I think we could easily see new highs in the Bitcoin comparative to PIVX. I really think so. The reason I think we could see that, and whether it takes a few weeks or maybe just a few days with how fast some of these privacy coins have been moving, I think if you were to get news of one exchange taking on PIVX as well, that would be huge, because PIVX right now, with the amount of exchanges that it's on right now, has a lot of optimism behind it, and the price action is showing very good levels. You can see here that it found general support around this level right here. And I think that's good because it shows that it's curving up and it wants to possibly test these highs over here, at least in a sense of a technical standpoint. So I think that on PIVX's price action, we're seeing very positive action. We're seeing a lot of volume pour in. The question is, is this going to have a Monero style run up? And I'm going to say that it's not going to reach the Monero level because Monero has been added to South Korean exchanges. So that's a big selling point on Monero standpoint. But PIVX could easily follow, because I think the general stance right here, right now, is there is a fundamental swing in markets that's leading to a very good move in technical price action, and that is the sense of privacy. There is an urgency, a little bit of FOMO in the market in the sense of getting to the PIVX. And I think if you're buying anywhere around this price level, you're not buying at highs. You're not buying up here. In the case I was talking about with Monero, people didn't realize that it's practically at its highs, if not a higher level, and actually broke out to new highs. We're far away from the highs on PIVX. The real thing, though, for the long term of PIVX is whether or not it can get adopted. There are a few different privacy coins in the space, but I think that in the sense of its algorithm, the Quark algorithm, and a lot of the backend stances that it takes in the sense of creation, the mix of proof of stake and also masternodes, I think that could attract a lot of people to PIVX. But only time will tell. We'll have to see if it gets adopted. I definitely am considering adding a position in this area and investing for the next few weeks and seeing what happens. But I'll let you all know about that if I make that decision. I'd love to hear what you all think about it, though. Have any of you personally partaked in PIVX? Have you interacted with the supposed stellar community that's behind PIVX and is really optimistic about its technology? Or do you all think that there's better competitors out there in the privacy coin space? I'd love to hear what you all think about it. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to share your opinion. But until then, I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.